Most D&D games start with neat little boxes: race, class, hit points, gear. But the one that stays with you, they don't start on paper. They start in the dark with something broken, a body left behind, a truth buried so deep it still twitches. And then, without warning, the player mutters, "I didn't plan for this. What the hell do I do now?" In part one, we broke down why session zeros fall short and how a one-on-one prologue drags your players past the point of no return. It turns beginners into believers and veterans into legends. Now it's time to build, well, to understand. This is part 2 of episode 5 in my 20-part campaign mastery series for Dungeons & Dragons. And again, this will work for any tabletop role-playing game. In this video, we'll walk you through the things every prologue needs to do. Not with rules or lectures, but with tension, risk, and just enough pressure to make a character come alive. They already exist, but we need to find their voice. Their past is written in scars and memory, and we made their backstory in video number 2. But this is the moment the world actually notices them. And we need to make the air here different, thicker. It presses down like a fist on the chest, a weight that doesn't lift when they stand, but settles deeper and deeper with every step. This is not invitation, it's a test to see if they can move when the world tries to hold them still, to see if their voice carries when silence pushes back. Let them feel it, that slow crush of something ancient and different. Let them claw for every breath in a place that offers none easily. In that gasping struggle, they'll find what it means to belong here. Let's dive in. Let's hear their voices. Section 1, the 6 things every prologue should do. And by the end of the prologue, your players should walk away with 6 anchors. Not rules, not lore, not facts, anchors. Something deep in the character that holds them down, that keeps them grounded, even when the world tilts sideways. Most campaigns fail when a character doesn't know who they are, or worse, they know who they want to be, but the game never gives them a chance to become it. The prologue is your chance to fix that, to forge something real. So here's what every prologue should do. Your first anchor, roleplay. Finding their voice. This is it. This is the moment the character becomes someone, not just a name and a stat line, not just a, "Hi, I'm a fighter with 16 strength and a tragic past." No, it's where they speak and how they speak when they're scared, when they're cornered, when they're lying. This is where rhythm is born. Maybe they mumble. Maybe they stammer when under pressure. Maybe their bravado slips the second someone questions them. It doesn't matter if they use a voice or not. This is about emotional cadence. That subtle change in tone when they threaten someone versus when they beg. You don't let them hide. Throw them into a situation and make them rise or be crushed, physically, emotionally, or maybe even spiritually. Give them a non-player character who forces it. Someone who insults them to their face. Someone who flirts with them at the worst possible time. Someone who lies to them but has a smile so confident they want to believe it. Here's a quick DM tip. Lie to them early. Force the decision. Do they trust this non-player character? Do they investigate or do they retaliate? This is the fork in the road where roleplay becomes a reflex instead of theory. Makes them make a decision that their character would make. And maybe it's a lot different than what the player would actually make in real life. Brings us to anchor 2, knowing their character. Most players think they know their character. They've got a backstory. I showed you how to make an epic one in video number 2. You don't need a build, you need a backstory. They have a class, maybe even a tragic loss or 2. A family, a place. But a real character isn't built on ideas or a few paragraphs. It's built on decisions. And most players don't know who they're playing until the character is actually pushed, is cornered, is out of breath and out of options. And suddenly the question isn't, what do I roll? It's, what do I do? Backstory is not a resume. It's not a list of cool facts or pain points. It's a map. And the prologue is the first time they set foot on the ground. The rogue says they grew up on the streets. Okay. Then where do they hide their dagger when they sleep? What corners do they avoid? And who do they still owe? The wizard says that they're a scholar. Yeah. So what did they study? Do they believe magic is a science, or is it faith? And they ever seen it gone wrong? As a DM, your job in the prologue is to test the story they wrote. You need to ask questions. When they say, I draw my sword, you need to ask them, where was it? Where do you carry it? You openly carry it on the streets? Is it strapped to your back or tucked inside your bedroll? And if they don't know, then maybe they don't really have it. Maybe it's across the room. Maybe they left it by the fire last night because they thought they were safe. Because not thinking has weight and forgetting hurts. Let the characters discover what they're really carrying, not just weapons, but habits, fears. Little things that only matter when that pressure hits. Maybe they've got a ball of string in their pocket that saves their life. Maybe they don't have flint and steel and the cold night gets a lot colder. Maybe they thought they were good at something, but when it counts, they're not. Push them into situations that challenge their identity and their profession. A blacksmith should be able to identify forged iron. A ranger should know when the trail's been faked, and a priest should hesitate when divine silence falls. If they can't describe how they do something their character should be good at, let that fail sting, not to punish them, but to make it real, to make them feel the edge of what it means to be a hunter, a soldier, a thief, a healer. Because if your character forgets what tools they have, then maybe that's exactly what gets them caught or cursed or even remembered. Knowing their character isn't about stats or die rolls. It's about believing what they know. It's about what they trust in themselves to do when there's no time to plan. It's not what they wrote, it's what they reach for. And when they don't know, that's a lesson the world teaches for you. No dialogue, no exposition, just pain. And that pain becomes memory, and that memory becomes truth. That's the moment they meet their character. Not the version they wrote, but the one they just become. That brings us to anchor number 3, understanding the basic mechanics. This isn't school, and you're not getting a seminar, and you're not passing out a syllabus and grading them on participation. This is a living world, and they're stepping into it right now. Your job isn't to explain every mechanic, it's to teach them what it feels like when the rules matter. No rule dump, no flowcharts, no lectures, just action. This is the role to resist fear. Why? Because something just moved on the other side of the wall and it knows their name. This is how initiative works. Why? Because the guard is searching for an alarm. They only have a few seconds. This is how damage is tracked. Why? Because they just got hit and that pain isn't going away. Every system is sharp in its own way. Some systems bleed you slowly. Some take your arm in one blow, and some kill your sanity long before they kill your body. So show them that edge. Let them roll because the story demands it, because they're cornered, because their consequences are already in motion. Mechanics aren't just numbers. They're rules of physics in your world. They tell the player what's possible, what's risky, what's finite and final. And when you teach those mechanics through tension, they'll remember. Not because you explained it, but because they lived it. Don't walk them through the system like it's a tutorial level. Let them learn it with stakes turned up. They won't forget how stealth works if the guard almost hears them breathing. And they won't forget how hit points work if they're down to their last one in a crumbling ruin. And they definitely won't forget what failure means if it meant watching someone else fall. Teach like this. You're not putting them on the safe track with bumpers. You're setting them loose in a world with cliffs. Let them fall. Let them get up different. Let them learn by doing, not studying. Because when you do that by session 3, they're not still asking, how did things work? They know. They felt the mechanics in their bones. And from that point on, the system disappears and the story takes over. Their attention isn't on the dice, it's on the choice, the tension, the consequences. That's the line between playing a role and living it. Anchor 4, learning the world's rules. This isn't about systems. This is about how your world feels when it's breathing down your character's neck. You're not teaching players lore. You're showing them what the world values and also what it punishes. Let them break a law and get away with it. Let them break a law and regret it. Let them try to buy their way out of trouble and watch the guard say, sorry, we don't take coin. We take names. This is how you teach gravity, not with a timeline, but with consequences. Show them the tension when they light a spell in a place that hates magic. Show them the silence when they say the wrong name in the wrong bar. Show them kindness they didn't earn and cruelty they didn't expect. Every action, let every action echo back at them, because the world has rules. Some are written, most aren't. They will learn through people staring. They will learn when the world, what the world considers power, and they will learn what the absence of something, its true weight. If a noble sneers at them for smelling like a stable when they just washed, now they know what status means. If a priest blessed them for mercy, now they know what the gods actually care about. This is rooted in your weaves. It is rooted in your world wound, or maybe even the slow burn. It is a force that defines the moment. We talk about waves in video 4 of this series. This isn't setting, it's friction. It's what happens when a character stops being a visitor and starts being seen. Let the world answer them, and they'll never need a lore dump again. You'll see it in the overlaps. Anchor number 5, how the game master or DM runs the game. The prologue isn't just a chance to explore the world or test the character. It's the moment each player learns how to run the game. Your tempo, your tone, your attention. Do you run fast and cinematic? Do things explode, escalate, and move with tension and drama? Or do you play it slow and grounded, where every decision takes weight and every mistake has teeth? Do you care about food, encumbrance, time of day? Do you track coin weight and light sources? Each player should feel your rhythm in their soul. Do you skip past the campfire scene, or do you lean into them? Do you role play every shopkeeper, or you just hand wave gold for gear? Do you reward clever plans, or do you punish slow thinking? These are more than style choices. They're a contract between you as the game master, dungeon master, and your players. Because when a player knows how you handle silence and how you escalate conflict and how you respond to risk, they stop guessing and they stop hesitating. They start trusting you to play it straight. And that trust is what makes the game breathe. Because the way I run games, there's gravity in everything. Every word matters. Every silence stretches, and every glance, every coin, every misstep might be the thing that breaks them. This world, my world, they don't wait for you. They press forward. They're indifferent. They're alive. I like to punish assumptions, and I really enjoy rewarding caution. And my world listens for what they say when they don't think anybody's watching. I try to track the little things, because the little things, they'll kill you. Rations, light, sleep, wounds left untreated. The ground beneath you shifts slowly until it doesn't, and by then, it's already too late. Every player learns this in the prologue, alone. They learn the weight of hesitation. They learn that if they forget their blade, they don't have it. That if they run their mouth, someone might be listening. And their backstory isn't protection. It's just baggage. This isn't about paranoia. It's about presence, that feeling that the world doesn't revolve around them, but it will react sharply, coldly, honestly. So by the time the group comes together, they're already playing your game, not just mechanically, but instinctively. Their pace matches yours now. Their tension matches yours. Their trust in the world is earned, and it stops being assumed. You don't have to teach them anything at the table because you just did in the prologue. Last anchor, anchor 6. Let the players come alive. This is the big one. If you forget everything else I've said, remember this. Your prologue has one job. It needs to make the character real. Not imagined, not conceptual, real. It needs to make the player forget the rules, forget the map, forget the stat sheet, and start seeing the world through the character's eyes. That's when they stop being just a sheet of paper and start being a real being in a great story. That's when the player says to the DM, this isn't your story anymore. This isn't some module. This isn't just a campaign setting you built in a vacuum. They start saying, this is my story now. And my character, whatever their silly name is, it's going to change the world. Section 2, drop them in the deep end, how to make your players actually roleplay. A session 0, you can't really get personal with your players. And it never gets your players to leave with those 6 anchors. And I know those 6 anchors are big, but that's why you do it. That's why you have that prologue. They should be so excited for what happens next. Run a prologue. This will make them so excited about the game. They will bring so much energy, even if it's their first time or their thousandth game. Their excitement, their fun, and their anticipation will be so contagious. But if you run a session 0, it is basically shared boredom. A room full of people politely waiting for their turn, watching someone else roleplay while they scroll on their phone. Tension's scattered, the buy-in is fractured, and the spotlight is way too big to actually hurt. But in a one-on-one prologue, there's no hiding. There's only presence, there's only pressure, there's only choice, reaction, and consequences. And that pressure, that isolation, that's where characters wake up. That's where they stop pretending and start becoming. That's where heroes are born, and that's where legends begin. So how do you actually do that? Well, to start with, you don't lecture. You don't ask, tell me how you got here. You start in the middle, right in the heat. Let me give you 4 examples that really work well to kind of drive this home. Example 1, you wake up in the alley with blood on your shirt. You don't remember how you got there, and you don't remember the knife in your hand. Let them panic. Let them improvise. Let them choose the kind of person they are right now. Example 2, there's a bounty poster nailed to the wall, and it has your face on it, but it's not your name. Let them wonder who wants them dead. Let them question who knows their face, and let them decide if they run, hide, or kill the one who printed it. Example 3, your character wakes up buried alive with scratch marks on the inside of the coffin lid and a note. Stapled to their chest, it says, next time, stay dead. Let them dig out their own grave with questions. Let them claw through the dirt and memory. Let them fear that they've already died and failed to stay gone. Example 4, in your pack is a severed hand, still warm, still twitching, wrapped in your mother's old scarf. You don't remember putting it there, but in your own handwriting is a tag that says, again. Let them choke on the implications. Let them dig through the past lives and unravel sanity one memory at a time. Let them fear what they've already proven they're willing to do. The trick is to never let them warm up. They should start the prologue like they're dropped in the deep end and they don't really know how to swim. That's when the instinct kicks in. That's when the character takes over. Ask questions that break the fourth wall of the character knowledge. How do you know how to pick this lock? Who taught you to run this fast? Why does this name stop you cold? Why are you lying to me right now? Let the answers shape the character in real time. Let the backstory drive your setup. Let every decision sketch the outline of someone they hadn't fully met until now. Make them answer without thinking about it. Make them improvise and come up with a story to justify on the spot. You want them to come alive? Then make it feel like their choices matter. Make it feel like the world has weight. Make them regret. Make them laugh. Make them lie to save themselves. And when they rise, make them earn it. Because when a character is forged, they don't sit quietly when the campaign begins. They kick the door open. They enter the party with momentum, with something to prove, the secrets they hadn't told anyone, and definitely nobody in the group. With tension in their voice and blood on their boots, they have a voice that will not be squashed by anyone. And the game will never drag again. Don't settle for onboarding. Don't settle for orientation. Run a prologue. Let them find their voice. Let them become real. Let them bleed, lie, laugh, fail, only to rise again. That's how you build a legend. Not with rules, not with balance, but with fear, with friction, and a little flame in the dark. Section 3, how it ties to the weave. I won't go too deep here, but know this. The prologue is where the character weave begins to take shape. It's not fully formed, not yet, but the outline starts to emerge. The decisions made, the weight they carried, the fragments of the past and purpose, they all begin to settle into place. This is where the character first brushes against the world, not with impact, but with potential. A chance to matter, a chance to belong, or to resist belonging. It's where the world wound lingers, at the edge of awareness. Maybe it's a name spoken too quietly, a symbol half remembered, a map with the corner burned away. The characters don't have to touch it yet. If they could, the path to it exists now. They might turn away, dismiss it, forget it entirely, but the door was open just wide enough to let the cold air in. This is where the slow burn doesn't catch fire, but the conditions change. Something is exposed. Acquired discomfort settles in. Maybe it's doubt. Maybe it's guilt. Maybe it's a truth they didn't ask for. The ember isn't lit, but now the tinder's dry. Now the storm's on the horizon. Now it can happen. In the present weave, the thread of the moment starts to uncoil, not dramatically, not in the thunder, but with motion. A glance held too long, a name overheard, a choice made that closes 100 other doors. The future starts to whisper. The prologue doesn't tell them what's coming, but it makes sure they could listen. That's the power of a real prologue. It doesn't demand answers and it doesn't force connections. It creates possibilities, the possibility of consequences, the possibility of a deeper meaning. It doesn't light every fire, but it puts every match in the room. Section 4, taking the backstory into the world. By the time you're ready to run the prologue, your players already have a full circle. You built it back in video 2 using the 6 questions that carve out who the character really is beneath the stats and backstory fluff. Now it's your job to take those answers and start pulling on them. Because each of those 6 questions isn't just a note on a page, it's a loaded thread, a pressure point, a fuse waiting for friction. And your prologue, that's where you strike the match. Let me show you how each of the 6 could possibly, maybe, become the foundation of your prologue with just enough weight to leave a mark. And that brings us to one of their 6 identifying questions right to the front. Number 1, where do they come from? Not the town, not the continent, the origin that shaped how they see the world. If they came from abandonment, show them someone who chose to leave. If they came from violence, drop them into silence and ask them what they're afraid of. Use your prologue to reintroduce their origin, but twist it. Make them question if they really escaped it. Let them see the same cycle starting again and asking if they'll repeat it or break it. Number 2, what do they want? Not the stated goal, the real one. Validation, justice, revenge, belonging. Put them just 1 inch from it. Let it whisper their name. Let them feel like it's almost theirs. And then force a choice. In the prologue, don't just give them what they want. Let them taste it. Let them decide if they'll reach for it or turn away. This is how you show that that want exists. And it's going to cost them something. Number 3, what threatens them? This is where fear breathes. Maybe it's failure, maybe it's truth, maybe it's the possibility that everything they've done was meaningless. Don't expose the threat fully. Just hint at it. Let the world make a sound they recognize. Let the shadow of their fear pass just outside the frame. The prologue is where you show them that the thing they're afraid of can happen here. Number 4, who or what are they tied to? Ties or tension, loyalty, guilt, love, regret, any of these can anchor a character. Use the prologue to pull on that anchor. Let someone from their past reappear. Let a stranger remind them of someone they left behind. Let a letter arrive from someone they swore was dead. These ties are not dead weight. They're pressure points, and they push them. Number 5, how are they changing? The prologue is the first test of the arc. Who they were meets who they're becoming. Set up the situation that makes them choose between old instincts and new desire. Let them fail in a way that haunts them or succeed in a way that scares them. The moment they notice that they're changing, that's when the story gets its claws in. And the last one, 6. What happens if they win or lose? This is the deepest cut. Set the stage for a small version of that longer consequence. If they're chasing revenge, give them a chance to hurt someone, but let it cost an innocent. If they want peace, let violence offer the only clear solution. Don't just show the stakes, make them feel it. The prologue should echo what's coming, a small mirror of the storm ahead. The 6 questions aren't just prep work, they're pressure points. Your job in the prologue is to choose one. And like a knife, twist it. Let the players feel what it's like to be inside that circle now. Let them see how fragile it is, how close it is to snapping. That's when the character wakes up. That's when the player locks in. That's when the game becomes real. That's the prologue. It's not a tutorial, and it's not a safe little test round before the real game begins. It's the moment a character starts to really exist, when they stop being a name on a page and start breathing right there across from you. When the choices they make have weight because the world you've built actually starts pushing back. This is where they speak, they lie, they hesitate, they fight, they improvise. Where they don't just tell you who they are, they show you. And suddenly, the story isn't yours anymore. It's theirs too. That's what a prologue does. By the time they step into the main game, they're already in motion, and better yet, they're already invested. They care because something happened when they were alone in the dark. Something that mattered. But the prologue was just the spark. Now comes the ignition. Because here's the real trick in a living world. It doesn't wait for anyone. It doesn't hold still. It just keeps burning. And while your characters were crawling through their own personal hell, something else was waking up. Something bigger, older, hungrier. Maybe it's a king who's no longer human. Maybe it's a machine that grinds people into fuel. Maybe it's a god that's been chewing through reality one prayer at a time. It doesn't care about your character's hopes, and it doesn't care about their grief. It doesn't even know their name. But it will. Because this thing, this pressure, it's coming. It's already here. And from now on, every step they take, they'll feel it, gnawing at the edges, waiting for them to slip, daring them to push back. And in the next video, I'll show you how to build that presence, the slow burn, the villain or the system or the god that never stops moving, no matter how long your players spend shopping for armor. Because a living world doesn't need them to catch up. It just needs them to notice they're already behind. And to all my fluffy spawn, welcome back to the Warren below, where every twisted thread eventually finds its place, where no one survives alone and the dark has room for everyone willing to carry a torch. You're not just playing, you belong.